Love, love, love. Good afternoon, Facebook family and friends, and excuse me, YouTube subscribers. Today is Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, June 24th. So I've been having this long conversation with a friend of mine about love and love in relationships. And it dawned on me, because he's going through some problems with his ex, and it dawned on me why so many people don't want to get into relationships. A lot of people don't want to get into a relationship because they don't want to open that door to loving someone else. Because once you open that door, enter into a relationship, and start loving someone else, if things change between you and that person, it can be very complicated to close that door of love. So what I'm trying to say is, you meet somebody, everything's going great, you spend a lot of time together. Gradually over time, your heart gets involved. You've opened this door. You begin loving and accepting this person. And then things go awry. Whatever happens. It could be a year into a relationship. It could be 5 days into the relationship. You really shouldn't be loving nobody at 5 days into a relationship, but it happens. You could be 5, 6, 7 years into a relationship. People, you love this. You really could be loving this individual, and the relationship ends. Now you got to find a way to close that door of love, and that can be complicated because closing that door can be very painful. A lot of us think that love is just like a light switch. You can turn it on and turn it off. Love does not work that way. That's why a lot of people are hurt and in pain because they haven't learned. It's not like a light switch. Love is not like a light switch. Love is I use the door for example, but it really isn't a door because you can't close it. Some people have a struggle and have a very difficult time when relationships end. They still love that other person. I've been down that path. So many times I can't even count. Ain't nothing like loving somebody and they don't love you back. That's some bullshit. And it can be painful as hell. And you looking at this motherfucker and they having a great time, enjoying life, doing things, and you sitting over there desiring this person, and they don't want nothing to do with you. They moved on, they enjoying life, seeing other people, and you still focused on them because that door to love, the doorway to love is still there. And it can be complicated to close that door. I wish love, like I said, was like a light switch. You can flip that sucker on and you tie that person and flip it off. For some people, it's that easy. But for some of us, it's a little bit more complicated. The longer you're with a person, the more you love that person. In most instances, the more you hate that person. That's why they say it's a thin line between love and hate. Because in any minute, when you love somebody so much they're not loving you back, you can cross that border into hate. That's when things get really crazy. So when I hear people say they don't want to be in a relationship, they don't want to love nobody, I understand because they have this fear. Because they don't want to feel that pain. And it can be painful. Ending a relationship could be more painful than a car accident for a lot of people. I know. I've had some relationships I had to end literally overnight. Ended. This is it. Although I had ended it here, this motherfucker was still in love. My heart was still desiring this person. But up here my brain was saying, oh, we can't go back over there. So it becomes this painful, long, drawn out journey to recovery. Your body has to almost seek relief. The only way you can get over love is time. It takes time. I loved the guy one time. We were together for not even maybe a year and a half. I had to end the relationship because he was out doing some horse bullshit, and I found out about it. I had to end it. I had to end it that day. But I loved that nigga for years. I was in love with that nigga for years. Years. I would think about him. Years. Even though I never saw him again. And if I saw him out in the public, I'd go the other way. It took me years to get over that man. Years. I'm saying years. And then I finally one day I woke up and I was able to look back and say, God, I was in love with that fat motherfucker. What in the hell? Motherfucker was fat, didn't have no style, older than me, way older than me, lied about his age. I laughed myself so hard when I woke up from that nightmare. Years later, I laughed about that. But I can look back at it now, but that was a very painful journey for me. That was a very painful journey because I was in love with this man and I didn't get the closure, so to speak. Love can be tricky. Love will take you down a path and drop your ass off in the middle of nowhere until you find your way home. I don't know where to go. But you got to keep going. That's what it feels like. And that's what it felt like for me. As if I'd been dropped off in the wilderness and I had to find my way back home. Lucky enough, I was able to find my way back home. So you got to be careful who you love. Be careful who you open that door to love because you could be loving a monster who ain't going to love you. That's why I tell people, before you get into a relationship, take a year or two and get to know that person. Hold your emotions back. Take a year or two and really get to know who you are going to fall in love with. We're going to withhold our love for now. You got to protect yourself. You cannot rush into these relationships. Gay, straight, black or white, you've got to get to know this person. This is why these relationships don't last, because people fall in love. They let emotion take control much quicker than this. So take your time, get to know the person, really investigate that person, really see, is this the right person for me? Before you start loving them. Because if you love too soon, if you fall in love too quickly, it could be a disaster for you. And you'll be left trying to heal or recover. Loving someone who don't love you, that's a painful ride. Very painful. So, I always tell people to slow down. Don't rush into it. Because sometimes we want a relationship. You want to love somebody. But you got to make sure that person loves you back. And you have to make sure that person is capable of loving you. Some people are not capable of loving anyone but themselves. And that could be a serious problem. You got a lot of selfish motherfuckers out there. They don't know how to love nobody but them. They are incapable of loving you, but you love them. That's a disaster. That's like being on the Titanic. I've been there. Slow down. Get to know these people before you commit and give your heart to someone. Because once you give them your heart and you start loving them, if it ends, be prepared for a long journey to recovery. They got a love hangover Diana Ross was singing about. I think it was Diana Ross. That love hangover ain't no damn joke. It can last for years. And it can be very devastating. Anyway, if you like my videos, please click like. And if you like my opinion about love, let me know what you think. And I'm out of here. Enjoy your Wednesday.